All right, so today we're diving into the world of Dr. Delmar Denise Dominique Peterson,
Okay.
the 2020 World Class Woman of the Year.
Wow.
Um, and, at first glance, you might think, oh, another beauty queen story. But
Right.
trust me, this one is way different.
Yeah.
We're going way beyond the crown to figure out what makes Dr. Peterson really exceptional.
You got it. And it really is about so much more than winning a pageant.
Yeah.
The World Class Women of the Year, they actually pick her from the magazine's cover models. But they're really looking at, their impact, what they do outside of just, the runway, their platforms, and what they're contributing to the world.
Absolutely. It's all about the substance,
Yeah.
not just the surface.
Exactly.
And Dr. Peterson, wow, her story is packed with substance.
Right.
We're talking U.S. veteran, master's in clinical psychology,
Wow.
working on another master's in education, an honorary doctorate in ministerial education.
Wow.
And get this, a successful Forex trader.
It's a lot. It's impressive.
It's amazing.
It makes you wonder how all these things connect to her overall mission. Like, does her psychology background inform her approach to philanthropy?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'm hoping that we can really kind of get into today.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go from being an international baccalaureate special education teacher to Forex trading?
Right.
It's mind-boggling.
It is.
And then on top of that, she's involved with the All Nations Worship Assembly. So
right.
it seems like faith is also a big part of her life as well.
Absolutely. It seems like spirituality is really a cornerstone of everything that she does.
Yeah.
Especially given, the diversity of her professional interests. Pretty fascinating.
And speaking of her work, I thought it was really interesting how she defined empowerment. She said it's not just personal success,
Yeah.
but using your intellect and influence and your resources to lift other people up.
I love that.
What are your thoughts on that definition?
Well, I think it's a really profound shift in perspective.
Yeah.
It's not just about climbing the ladder and getting to the top yourself, but turning around and extending a hand down to other people to help them get to the top with you. I think it shows a real sense of responsibility and community.
Totally. And that's clear. When you look at her journey through the pageant world, she didn't just go from Miss Midwest American Nation to Mrs. Illinois U.S. World, and then finally Miss Illinois World Universal for the titles.
Right.
Each step was very deliberate.
Yeah.
It's like she used that platform to amplify her voice, advocate for the causes that were important to her.
Absolutely. And that ultimately led her to establish Provision Unlimited, her nonprofit organization dedicated to helping underprivileged communities.
Tell me more about Provision Unlimited.
Okay.
I know that she does resource drives, Thanksgiving giveaways, Christmas toy drives, but it goes way beyond that, right?
It does. I mean, what's really striking is that she's created her own resource outlet store. Like, it's an actual store stocked with clothes, baby products, home goods, even construction tools.
Oh, wow.
And it's all completely free.
Wow. That's amazing.
To people in need.
It's like a one-stop shop for anyone struggling to make ends meet.
It really is.
What stands out to you the most about this approach to service?
I think it's how practical and tangible it is.
Yeah.
She's not offering advice or temporary aid. She's giving people essential resources that can really have a lasting impact on their lives.
Absolutely. And on top of that, she's also a supporter of the New Levels, No Devils Trade Investment Group. So from what I understand, they focus on financial literacy and empowerment.
Right.
Especially during these difficult economic times.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because it probably ties into her Forex trading expertise.
Right.
Maybe she sees financial literacy as kind of a key tool to break the cycle of poverty.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's something I really want to learn more about today, how those two areas intersect.
Yeah.
It's like she's creating a multi-pronged attack on poverty, addressing those immediate needs, but then also equipping people with the skills to build a better future.
I like that multi-pronged attack. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
It's a good visual.
Yeah. It really is a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
And her future plans just show an even greater commitment to this idea.
Oh, yeah.
So she's working on formalizing Provision Unlimited, leading her sorority chapter, and also serving as an administrative assistant for IGGAP.
IGGAP.
Which stands for Illinois Guardianship and Advocacy Commission.
Okay.
It's an organization that protects the rights of people with disabilities.
Got it. Thanks for clarifying that.
Sure.
Wow, so it seems like everything she does is interconnected.
Yeah.
Like building upon the previous endeavor.
Right.
But what about her ultimate ambitions? You mentioned before that she wanted to create something that would leave like a lasting legacy.
Yeah, so she wants to establish agencies and schools that are really focused on those 4 key areas: wealth, health, spiritual growth, and strong relationships. It's about impacting generations to come.
Wow.
Really ambitious. But her track record speaks for itself.
Right. I mean, she gets things done, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
It's like she's literally creating a blueprint for holistic well-being.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me wonder, what sparked her interest in pageants in the first place? Was it purely to have a platform, or did she genuinely like the experience itself?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, her journey actually started with Madame Christelle O'Keefe, who is the CEO of the Miss and Miss America Nation pageant system.
Oh, wow.
And it seems like maybe Madame O'Keefe was one of the first people to see Dr. Peterson's potential, like even before she did.
Classic mentor story.
Yeah.
Seeing that spark in someone and just helping them grow.
Absolutely.
But what about the Mrs. World Universal system? She seemed really drawn to that one in particular.
Yeah.
What sets it apart from the others?
Well, she highlighted that it was inclusive and really celebrated women's strengths.
Some personal growth, which really aligns with her values.
Okay.
And don't forget, the 2020 competition was canceled because of the pandemic.
Oh, that's right.
So can you imagine the disappointment after all that preparation?
I don't know. It must have been devastating.
Yeah.
But you know what's really incredible is that she didn't let that stop her.
Right.
Instead of focusing on that setback, she kept working.
Yeah.
And even expanded Provision Unlimited in the middle of a global crisis.
Resilience is one of her defining characteristics.
For sure. I mean, she just adapts and perseveres no matter what.
Exactly.
And I think that makes me wonder, like, what drives that resilience? She's accomplished so much.
Right.
Military service, all these degrees, her success in finance, and now this incredible commitment to philanthropy.
It's a lot.
What is it about her that allows her to do all these things and be so good at all of them?
That's the million-dollar question, you know. Well, from what I've gathered, it seems like her faith plays a big role.
She often describes her work as divinely guided, and even views her success in gathering resources for people in need as a form of spiritual empowerment.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like she sees it as a calling.
Yeah.
A mission to make a real difference in other people's lives.
Exactly. And that belief fuels her passion and her determination.
You know, I'm still curious about this No Devils group. What exactly is their approach to financial empowerment?
Right.
And how is it different than traditional financial literacy programs?
Well, it's tough to say without more information.
Yeah.
But, you know, she did say that it teaches people how to actually make money.
Okay.
Even during economic downturns. So maybe it's about financial resilience and adaptability.
Right. Could there be a connection to her Forex trading background?
Oh, absolutely.
Like maybe No Devils is using those principles and strategies in ways that maybe traditional programs aren't.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it involves market trends or managing risk or alternative investments.
Right. It would be so fascinating to learn more about that.
It really would.
Maybe that's something we can cover in a future deep dive.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that.
All right. But even without knowing the specifics, I think what I find really inspiring is that she's committed to sharing that knowledge with other people, especially those who've been affected by job losses.
Right.
Or financial instability.
Right. Especially during these times.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Exactly. It speaks to her belief in empowerment, but not just through giving people things, but giving them the tools and knowledge to kind of navigate these challenges.
Yeah. Knowledge is power.
And it all ties back to her definition of empowerment. You know, using your intellect, influence, and resources to help other people.
Right. She's not just talking the talk, she's walking the walk.
Exactly.
Using her finance knowledge to help other people achieve stability.
It's a remarkable cycle of empowerment.
Yeah, I like that.
Each element is reinforcing the others.
Yeah, it's like a positive feedback loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it seems like it all stems from that belief in the potential of every person to get through tough times and achieve success.
Yeah, she really believes in people.
It's inspiring.
It is.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to talk about another aspect of her work that really stood out to me. Her leadership with her sorority.
Yeah.
Omega Upsilon Pi. She just became the president of the Zeta chapter.
Wow.
And she's even trying to establish independent chapters in other regions. It's another example of her dedication to empowerment.
Yeah.
but this time within a very specific community.
Yeah, it's interesting, leading a sorority is a lot about fostering sisterhood, mentorship, and leadership development.
Right.
And that all aligns with her mission.
Exactly. It's about creating that support network where women can help each other and reach their full potential.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the fact that she wants to expand the sorority shows that she wants to create those same opportunities for women everywhere.
It really does. And it just speaks to her belief in the power of community.
Yeah.
And how important it is for women to have a platform to connect with each other, to support each other, and to make a difference.
To make a difference. I love that.
Yeah.
So to recap, we've really dug into Dr. Peterson's journey, from her military service to her degrees, her success in finance, and her commitment to helping other people.
Absolutely.
It's a story that challenges the usual definitions, redefines beauty, and shows us the power of passion, perseverance, and, a heart dedicated to service.
It's a powerful story.
It is.
It really shows that impact can take many different forms.
Right.
And that true success isn't just about what you accomplish on your own, but about using your gifts to help others.
Right. And Dr. Peterson embodies that.
She really does.
Her dedication to helping people in need, her commitment to financial literacy and empowerment.
Yeah.
Her leadership in his sorority, and all of her creative endeavors. It really shows a life that is driven by purpose and a desire to make a difference.
It really does.
Her approach to empowerment really is a testament to her belief in the potential of every person.
Absolutely.
To create a better future for themselves and their communities.
Yeah, everyone has that potential.
This is really inspiring.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. It is inspiring.
It really is. But speaking of approaching things differently, I'm curious about her work with New Levels, No Devils.
Okay.
We talked about it a little bit earlier. But I want to understand more about how it works and what makes it so unique.
Right. Well, unfortunately, the information we have is limited.
Okay.
But she did mention that it teaches people how to make money, even when times are tough, economically. So that suggests a focus on financial resilience and adaptability.
Do you think there could be a connection to her Forex trading background?
Oh, definitely.
Like maybe New Levels, No Devils incorporates some of those principles or strategies.
Right, exactly.
In a way that maybe traditional financial literacy programs just don't.
Exactly. Maybe it's about understanding market trends, managing risk, identifying alternative investment opportunities.
It would be so cool to learn more about their approach.
It would. It would.
Maybe we can do a future deep dive on that.
I like it.
If we can get more info.
Yeah.
But even without knowing those specifics, what I find really inspiring is her commitment to share that knowledge with others, especially people who've been, affected by job losses.
Right.
Or financial instability.
It's so important, especially now.
Yeah, exactly. And it all goes back to her definition of empowerment.
Right.
Using your intellect and influence and resources to uplift other people. She's not just talking the talk, she's walking the walk, right?
She is.
Using her expertise in finance to create opportunities for other people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it really highlights how all of her work is interconnected.
Yeah.
Her success with Forex trading is what allows her to support Provision Unlimited. But her involvement with New Levels, No Devils, lets her share that knowledge and empower others to achieve that same stability.
It's like this incredible cycle of empowerment.
It is.
Each piece strengthens all the others.
It all comes back to that deep belief in people's potential to overcome adversity and achieve success.
So inspiring.
It is. Very inspiring.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing about her work that really stood out to me.
Okay.
Her leadership within her sorority, Omega Upsilon Pi.
Okay.
She just became the president of the Zeta chapter.
Wow.
And she's even working to create independent chapters in other regions.
That's awesome.
This is just another example of her dedication to empowerment.
Yeah.
This time within a very specific community.
Right. Yeah, it's so interesting because leading a sorority is about fostering that sisterhood, mentorship, leadership development.
Right.
That all ties back into her overall mission.
Absolutely. Creating that support network.
Yeah.
So women can lift each other up and achieve their dreams.
Absolutely.
Wanting to expand the sorority, I think that shows she wants to create those opportunities for women everywhere.
Yeah, it really speaks to her belief in the power of community. And it's so important for women to have a platform where they can connect and support each other.
Yes.
And go out and make a difference in the world.
Make a difference in the world. So well said.
Yeah.
So to wrap it all up today, we've gone through this amazing journey of Dr. Peterson's life. Her military service to her academic achievements, her success in finance, and her dedication to philanthropy.
Absolutely.
It's a story that challenges how we normally see things.
Right.
Redefines beauty and shows us the power of passion and perseverance. And having a heart that's truly dedicated to service.
It's powerful.
Her story is a reminder that we can make an impact in so many different ways.
Right.
And that true success isn't just about what we do for ourselves.
Right.
But it's about using our unique talents to empower other people.
It's about giving back.
Dr. Peterson embodies that in every way. Her commitment to helping people, to financial literacy and empowerment, her leadership within her sorority, and all her creative pursuits, she's driven by purpose.
Right.
And a real desire to make a difference in the world.
She leads by example.
And her approach to empowerment really shows us that everyone has the potential to create a better future for themselves and their communities.
Everyone has that potential.
Dr. Delmar Denise, Dominique Peterson. Peterson's story is so inspiring.
It is.
It reminds all of us that we have these unique gifts that we can offer to the world. And when we use those gifts with compassion and a commitment to service, we can really create a legacy that lasts. That's it for today's deep dive. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for having me.